punk is like an explicitly leftist genre, which is why people like Sid Vicious and Johnny Rotten, a lot of the Sex Pistols aren't really accepted anymore. They weren't accepted by like prop punks at the time. A lot of them just saw them as like an industry planted boy band. The purpose of it is to be like purposefully aggressive. So it's always going to be different to like straight rock or anything else. Because people think it's just like countercultural for no reason when it is like explicitly political. It's not just like going against the grain for nothing. Dead Kennedys and shit making music about like Nazi punks fuck off and stuff.
Nazi pigs, fuck off.
Because where like skinheads are, like skinheads wasn't really a punk thing, it was just like adopted by neo-Nazis. So wherever people have shaved head are going to be, neo-Nazis are going to try and invade it. I say funk is just like bouncy, like unabashedly positive. My main influence is probably Zigaboo Mode, at least from the Beatles. I think he's one of the massively more underrated funk drummers. Kind of a combination of like jazz, soul and rock. Like there's definitely a lot of rock influences on funk, like the P-funk especially, like
Maggot brain is a state of mind, and then the condition and position of your ass. Funkadelic, maggot brain.
So drugs did play like a big part in the like progression of funk, mainly with George Clinton. There's this story of him, like, because I mean, he mainly progressed out of them just doing acid and stuff. He was also like a crack addict. So like, there's a story of him buying this crack rock at the beginning of a tour, and like knowing he was gonna have to go on a bender when the tour ended. He like vowed he wasn't gonna smoke this rock until the end of the tour. So at the end of the tour comes, he books himself a hotel room, and it's just him sat like meditation style, naked on the bed, smoking this crack rock, and fire alarm goes off, jumps out of bed, crack rock falls out of the pipe, sets the curtains on fire. This whole like picturing the scene of him naked trying to get this fire out, pulls down the curtains. There's an office building full of people staring at him, trying to put out this fire naked while high on crack. Jazz is like just as passionate as like punk or anything like that. It's just more like talented, there's more thought gone into the actual music of it than anything else. difficult because you have to like completely rethink the way you play. Just because when you start the way I did with like rock stuff, it's like the right hand is like the spine. It's like the most. Everything else moves around that. So when you start playing jazz, because it's very different, it's just a completely different groove. You have to rethink how you play the rest of the kit. But once you do get it, it's like very free. Like even if you listen to the music, like they never play the same stuff. Basically everything they do, like there will be like written stuff, but a lot of it is improvised. Jazz is like a very unitive and like band based genre. Like when you're getting into jazz, you just like getting the records and stuff. You can see who, like if you look at like a Miles Davis album, it will have like all these names on it. It'll have like Bill Evans, Paul Chambers, John Coltrane, and then you look at their stuff, you see who they were playing with, and so on and so forth. And you just like see this massive world of everyone was playing with everyone. And there's also like the relationship within the band of like, I mean it varies from like player to player because like you have to be pretty talented to know it, although they did tend to be like very talented. Like there's the story of Miles Davis, like with Herbie Hancock, when Herbie Hancock was a young pianist, and he just played a wrong note that like wasn't in the right key during one of Miles' solos, and Miles just pauses for a second and then starts playing in that key, so he just corrected Herbie's mistake, while like a lesser player would have just shouted at him, would have just stopped.